Tony was told of a demonstration that Noah Pollock was organizing. A bus took protesters to an event organized by the pro-BDS movement, Students for Justice in Palestine.
Hey, man. I'm Tony.
Marshall.
Nice to meet you.
This is one of those things where either it's going to be amazing and we're going to defeat BDS, or we're just broken.
Well, you can't beat them, join them.
We're obsessed with winning, you know, so I just want to win. So
Yeah,
I want to win something.
They don't win anymore.
The protesters are on a fellowship program run by a conservative think tank called the Hoover Institution.
The whole fellowship is describing it as like you guys are being like foot soldiers of the conservative movement. This is actually the first foot soldier activity that I think we've been forced to do. Tony, what's your connection to the conspiracy that we're all part of?
Yeah. The Israel Project?
So you can't not come.
Their plan is to disrupt the National Conference of Students for Justice in Palestine. Marshall said that the pro-Israel protest had been poorly planned.
It's a very fly-by-the-pants procedure. It was basically just like Noah Pollock coming and being like, look, there are these jihadis who basically support suicide bombing, and they're at a campus, and you have to stop them.
So a chance to shout at Arabs?
As we're leaving, we mentioned to our boss yesterday that we're going. She's like, oh yeah, that's mandatory. You need to go.
While they've been told they have to take part in the protest, not everyone on the bus is convinced it's good for their reputation.
Do you know what my worst nightmare is? I'm actually not kidding. It's a photo of Dion and I together, and we're just like clearly identifiable. And they're like, "Oh, we're these like traitors who sold out to the Jewish conspiracy for money." I'm like, "We did. We cost $50,000 plus benefits."
As the bus leaves, they discuss whether there's any point in staging the protest.
I'm just skeptical.
Using the protesting tactic against them?
That's not our demographic. They don't like
The reason protests work is when like the people involved really care about it and like want to be there.
But that's what we're supposed to do because they keep existing and they keep expanding. And no matter how many lawmakers come out against BDS, they keep growing.
Well, no, you're right. Like, we should do something, but at the end of the day, like, the notion that the right is ever going to dominate any sort of campus protest is ridiculous.
You can't just let them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
And that's what happened.
If I were a high-level Jewish donor, I would be, like, a little more realistic about the expectations.
So what would you do if you were a high-level Jewish?
I continue to do what you're doing, which is focusing on the actual power structures in themselves. Like, the reality is there's not a single college president in this country that would actually sign BDS. There is not a single...
They all allow SGP to exist on their campus.
Because of free speech, they cannot let them.
So what are they supposed to do about it?
When a protest is sponsored and organized by outsiders, but made to appear like a popular grassroots movement, it's known as astroturfing.
They did a really job of getting me excited to show up and protest.
It's kind of the way you're putting it kind of sounds a bit like astroturfing.
No, this is astroturf. No, this is actually the definition. There's a bus.
What does that mean?
So it's when you set up things.
It's the difference between grassroots and astroturf.
You're taking corporate money and you're manufacturing the image of a grassroots movement with corporate money by basically paying people to appear as activists. It just shows how little actual grassroots power they have and how all of their power is at the top.
It's not that astroturfing is wrong, it's just that like your astroturf has to be like committed. We shouldn't have fellows saying, like, honestly, this is bad for my political career.
The bus arrives at George Mason University, where Students for Justice in Palestine is holding its national conference. But the protesters can't find the conference hall.
They just pull over and ask, hey, where are all the jihadis?
The driver sees two students and stops to ask directions. One is wearing a headscarf.
Wait.
Oh, no. Come on.
What?
We're like, back to DC! Back to DC!
I believe the comments said.
Okay.
No, go.
Excuse me? Do you know where the Johnson Center is? Okay, just go back down this. Okay. Okay, thank you.
That was problematic.
So this is off to a good start.
Students for Justice in Palestine really is a student led type of organization focused around promoting the BDS cause. We have workshops on how to run a divestment campaign, finding intersections on campus, building alliances. Right now, Palestine has been essentially normalized on campuses.
The bus finally arrives.
Jen.
Noah Pollock's protest is not a student event. To avoid breaking university regulations, he's arranged a legal briefing.
The SGP conference is on the 3rd floor, and we're going to go up and in a respectful and quiet way protest them. Yael is a legal expert and is going to talk a little bit about that.
We are here, of course, as guests of the university, so we don't want to be accused of disrupting a school-sponsored activity. It is against the law to use abusive or violent language, so we're going to use peaceful, good language. If we see that they're doing anything that is bad behavior, don't engage, remain calm. If you do happen to speak with any reporters, just stay on message. And what is that message? SJP is a hate group. BDS is a hate movement. The only other thing you probably want to mention is that SJP endorses violence, terrorism, things like that. And you guys are going to be great.
We're not there to provoke. We're not there to have any sort of incident at all. We're nice people.
Tony's group of protesters then faced another obstacle.
Wow, I don't know if you guys heard, we were stuck in an elevator.
Yeah, I really like the area.
With all the signs.
They shut us in an elevator.
And someone on the inside.
Those anti-Semites.
We start seeing groups of people coming towards us who don't seem familiar, and then brandishing Israel flags and then posters and signs.
We have our people.
Freed from the elevator, Tony joined the demonstration.
We support democratic society, but if you don't want to, we denounce extremist groups. Hey, SJP, what do you think of this?
You agree? Resistance? Child suicide bombers?
How do you respond to such a wild accusation that's not grounded in anything and that's just designed to shift attention? Oh wait, we support suicide bombers. That's ridiculous.
Before that?
Social justice left supports radical terrorism.
You don't want dialogue? We're here to talk to you. Turn your back.
You'd think if like they were gonna do, they'd try to shake it up and mix it up with new accusations.
We don't support radical Islamic terrorism in this country. We don't support suicide bombers. Cowards who kill children and women. They leave orphans. We don't support that.
Kill babies in strollers. That'll bring peace. Yeah, Palestinian terrorists all over Israel. That would be it.
Real baby killers, these terrorists. They kill women, they kill children, they don't care about anything.
Rape women too, all the time.
It takes a lot to hear this and not respond, and to turn your back to them and to not look back at them.
Thank you, SJP. Good luck with your jihad.
They were very frustrated at the fact that we weren't responding. They're saying, they're not even responding. They're not even responding.
Look at how they wave a Palestinian flag in our country. Look at this. Despicable. These are the real basket of deplorables. These are the deplorables, people. They cower behind radical Islamism. They don't engage in dialogue because they can't win the war of ideas.
There's no responding to our content, because there is no refuting our content. Our content is grounded in human rights, morality, ethics, international law.
The staged protest had minimal impact on the students at George Mason University. But the headlines shared on social media tell the story Pollock wanted.
Yeah, let's head back to headquarters for debriefing and cocktails.